Hello everybody, it's Anna here again today, and today we are at South Stack, which is on Anglesey, which is Ynys Môn in Welsh, here in North Wales, and we're going to be looking at this famous iconic lighthouse, looking around the area, going up onto Hollyhead Mountain and looking at some very ancient stone hut houses, old houses. So come along and join us. You're very welcome. Don't forget, welcome in Welsh is croeso. Now, the South Stack Lighthouse is built on Ynys Lawd, which is a small rocky island just off the edge of Holy Island, which itself is an island just barely separate from the main part of Anglesey. And to reach this lighthouse, you need to descend a switchback stairway running down the cliff face over 400 steps, and yes, I counted down, and 400 back up. So it's a bit of a hike, but it's very beautiful. So hope you enjoy. South Stack is actually one of Anglesey's must-see landscapes. It has some of the most dramatic cliff scenery in Great Britain, apparently, and the cliffs here support large colonies of seabirds, and it's possible to see them from the white castle-looking tower. Here we are, and which is the you can see right over, and you can go in there for free and have a look through there. But the spectacular 100-metre high cliffs can be viewed from the path leading to the lighthouse, and there are wonderful rock formations thought to be of the Cambrian era, which is over 500 million years old. Shockingly, but apparently so. And although their origin has been the subject of much debate over the years, they are thought to be of that age, all of this rock formations around this area. So we're up onto Holy Mountain now. As you can see, we are walking up to the top, and coming up next you will see what is known as North Stack. There is North Stack. Not many people know about that. Also want to mention that this coast is part of the Hollyhead Mountain Heritage Coast, and this Hollyhead Mountain, or Mynydd Tor as we know it, surely occupies one of the best positions in Great Britain. Rising to 220 metres and cloaked in rocks and heather, it seems to tower over the much flatter land below, giving it a definite mountainous feel despite its modest height, really, and part of a fascinating ancient landscape littered with ruins, intriguing landscapes and fascinating views. This Mynydd Tor is an excellent adventure, and in particular you can see both Snowdonia and the Wicklow Mountains on a very clear day. You can see this from up here at Mynydd Tor. And also up here, keep an eye out for the mountain's bird life. Puffins and oyster catchers both nest up here, and catching them is the icing on the cake, but we didn't see them this day. The lighthouse was actually built in 1809 by Trinity House, and this lighthouse has been warning ships in the Irish Sea of the hazardous rocks below for over 200 years. It was originally fitted with oil lamps and reflectors, and was electrified in 1938 and further modernised in 1983 when it was automated. It has since been managed remotely by the company who built it, Trinity House, since then. Like I said earlier, you've got to descend down 400 steps, and then at the bottom you cross a small metal bridge, which you'll see, or have seen, or will see, before climbing up some more steps up into the lighthouse. There's the steps going down, and then when you get to the bottom of the 400 steps, I keep mentioning 400 because it's a long way. There's Alf heading down there now. You have to cross over the 30-metre chasm of turbulent sea below, which will give you a real insight into just how treacherous previous South Stack lighthouse keeper jobs must have been, really, when you think about it. And what's more, before this bridge was added in 1828, the only means of crossing the channel to Holy Island, Anglesey, was in a wicker basket on a cable. Now, can you imagine that? It must have been terrifying in the middle of a storm. And there's the white bridge there that I was talking about. In 1859, there was a particularly violent storm, which is now believed would have been classed as a hurricane, and it wreaked devastation and claimed 800 lives in 200 shipwrecks, including that of the Royal Charter, which had 500 on board. And unfortunately, one of the keepers, John Jack Jones, was also killed by falling rock as he was heading on to duty, so that's very sad. And the story goes that he dragged himself partway along the path, but his cries were drowned out by the battering wind and rain, and he wasn't found until the next morning. And it is said that it's basically his ghost who now haunts this South Stack lighthouse. And it was actually visited by the team from Most Haunted. I've mentioned this on our channel before, which is a British reality TV series that investigates paranormal activity in different locations, and they think it's haunted also. We are now at my favourite part of the Hollyhead Mountain, and it's the Mountain Hut Circles. And basically, these are thought to date from the times of the Roman occupation of Wales, because Roman coins and pottery have been found here, but they are in fact much older, reaching back to prehistoric times. And what we see here are the remains of a sizable agricultural settlement in use for many generations. There are around 20 of an estimated 50 original buildings here surviving, mostly as circular hut foundations, and you see us walking around all of them here. And it's not difficult when you're there and from this video to imagine what these stone-built huts would have looked like, topped with their thatched roofs. And to help paint an even clearer picture of the past, some even have traces of internal divisions, storage areas and furniture such as benches and basins of stones. It's fascinating, and you can read a little bit about them here and get an idea more of what the site looked like. But it's amazing how people may have worked the land here, and as a bonus they would have got spectacular mountainside setting with spectacular sea views overlooking the Irish Sea there, and to the right would be the South Stack Lighthouse where we've just been. It's an amazing site to visit, and when you're walking around there you can just imagine what it was like all those years ago, the prehistoric era. The remains of an Iron Age farmstead here in South Stack in North Wales. Absolutely fascinating. Also known as the Prehistoric Hut Circles, this Cadw Reserved site is located at the southwestern end of the Hollyhead Mountain within the RSPB Nature Reserve. And like I said, the discovery of Roman artefacts initially led archaeologists to believe that they were from the Roman period, but the site is thought now to date back very, very earlier than that, to the Iron Age. And it really fascinates me to think of how these huts, these circular homesteads, which at one point occupied this mountain, were used by some of Wales's first farmers, and is actually one of the best preserved hut groups in Wales. And I forgot to mention that some of the things that have been found here include flint arrowheads, part of a stone axe, and pottery remains that date from the late Neolithic or early Bronze Age, as well as later small hoard, like I mentioned earlier, of Roman coins found within one of the huts. So it's a very, very ancient site and very fascinating. So there we are. I think we'll leave it there for today. From the Prehistoric Hut Circles here at South Stack on Anglesey, or Ynys Môn in Welsh, here in North Wales. I hope you've enjoyed the tour, and we'll say ta-ta for now, and we'll see you on the next adventure, or the next Welsh lesson, or the next Welsh history lesson. But don't forget to keep practicing your Welsh, because practice makes perfect. We'll leave you with a few more views, and we'll say ta-ta for now. Nos da.